Alright, let's talk about Pete Hegseth. You might know him. He's that guy on your television screen, often found standing in front of an American flag so large it could double as a mainsail for a battleship. He's a Fox News host, he's a veteran. He's a man who has built an entire career on projecting an image of unwavering, rock-solid patriotism. He speaks with the kind of booming confidence that suggests he personally wrestled a bald eagle and won. For years he's been a prominent voice, a self-styled champion of the people. Public service, national duty. It's a compelling brand, isn't it? The soldier turned commentator, fighting for the soul of the nation from a well-lit television studio. This brings us, inevitably, to the leak, because behind every carefully constructed public image there's often a messy, inconvenient reality. And in Hegseth's case, that reality came spilling out thanks to a recently leaked emergency call. Now, this wasn't just any old leak, like finding out your uncle uses an embarrassing email address. This was a bombshell, a recorded conversation from a moment of crisis that was never, ever meant for public ears. It's the kind of leak that public relations teams have nightmares about. It's the kind of raw, unfiltered audio that provides a stark, and frankly, hilarious contrast to the polished persona we see on the nightly news. This isn't just about catching a public figure in a private moment. No, this is much bigger. This is about the fundamental contract between a media personality who claims to be a tribune of the people and the people themselves. He sells a very specific product: authenticity. He tells his audience that he, unlike the elites, is one of them. He says he believes in sacrifice, in putting the country first. The leak forces us to ask a simple question. Is any of that true? Or is it all just an act? A performance for the cameras, carefully scripted to build a brand and sell a narrative? So who is Pete Hegseth? Is he the stoic patriot we see on TV? Or is he something else entirely? A man whose primary motivation isn't the grand ideal of public service, but something far more basic, something far more human. The leak provides a stunning clue. It peels back the curtain not just on the man but on the entire industry of political commentary he represents. And what it reveals is a chasm, a canyon-sized gap between the noble words spoken into a microphone and the panicked, self-serving actions taken when the cameras are off. It's a story about image versus reality, and it's a story that's just getting started. Before we dive into the juicy details of that phone call, and trust me, it's juicier than a forbidden fruit, we need to set the stage. Let's remember the character Pete Hegseth plays on TV. Publicly, he has been an incredibly vocal critic of government spending, especially when it comes to what he deems frivolous projects. He lectures his audience about fiscal responsibility and the importance of self-reliance. He has on numerous occasions railed against the idea of public funds being used for personal benefit, painting it as a moral failing of the highest order. He's the guy who would tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, even if you don't have boots. His rhetoric is always centered on a single powerful idea: sacrifice for the greater good. He'll look you dead in the eye through your television and talk about duty, honor, country. He champions the idea that individual needs should always be secondary to the needs of the community and the nation. He has criticized others for seeking special treatment or using their connections to get ahead. In his telling of the world, true patriots don't ask what their country can do for them, they just do for their country, quietly and without expectation of reward. It's a very noble, very stern, and very marketable brand of patriotism. Think about the image he projects. He is the tough guy, the former soldier who understands hardship and discipline. He talks about weathering storms, both literal and metaphorical, with grit and determination. He's not the kind of person who would panic. He's not the kind of person who would demand special favors. According to his own public statements, he's the guy who would be out there in a hurricane, sandbagging his neighbor's house, not calling in a favor to save his own wine collection. His entire public persona is built on this foundation of stoic self-sufficiency and moral clarity, a man of the people, for the people. This carefully cultivated image is absolutely crucial to understanding the impact of the leak. He wasn't just a commentator. He positioned himself as a moral authority. He spent years building up this reservoir of trust with his audience, convincing them that he was different from the swamp creatures he so often criticized. He was, in his own narrative, an outsider who spoke hard truths. He was the embodiment of the principles he preached. Remember that. Remember the lectures on self-reliance, the speeches about public duty, and the scorn for those who use their influence for personal gain. Keep it all in your head. Now let's get to the main event, the leaked emergency call. The setting: a massive storm is bearing down on the coast, a genuine emergency. What do you think our champion of self-reliance was doing? Organizing a neighborhood watch, filling sandbags? No, he was on the phone with a local emergency management official and he wasn't calling to volunteer. The audio reveals a Pete Hegseth that his viewers have never seen before. Gone is the calm, commanding TV host. In his place is a frantic, agitated man. A man not concerned about his community but about his own very specific, very personal property. What was the nature of this dire emergency? Was his house about to be washed away? Were his loved ones in danger? Not quite. The primary focus of his panicked call was to request emergency resources to protect his boat. That's right, his boat. While his neighbors were likely worrying about their homes and their safety, Hegseth was apparently consumed with the fate of his recreational watercraft. The call is a masterclass in entitlement, with him repeatedly name-dropping and hinting at his media influence to get what he wants.